Good day, gentlemen. I've been with my girlfriend for over 5.5 years. We've built a fantastic relationship together, and I've helped many of my coaching clients do the exact same. This is not some immature red pill video, even though the title might suggest that. This is the exact opposite, actually. This is a deep dive into an issue that destroys many relationships that are otherwise very good. I will share some mindsets and some actionable steps with you that help you move beyond this stage that you're in right now. And we're making the assumption here in this video that your girl is the more feminine person in your relationship. Feminine and masculine, when I talk about that, what I mean is not male and female gender roles, I mean the masculine and feminine sexual essence, right? Sexual energy. Now let's be honest. When your girl focuses more on her work or her studies, more than on you and your relationship together, that stings. It stings because it feels like she is getting direction from something outside of you. She's getting this masculine sense of direction from her work or from her boss or from her studies, from her university, whatever it might be. And it almost feels like she's questioning your direction. Be honest with me right now. It does, right? And it stings. It certainly stings because she gets direction from something outside of you. And if we're being honest, if someone were to directly tell a more masculine person, if my girl were to directly tell me as the more masculine person in our relationship that I'm lost or that she doesn't trust my direction, or even just literally in a car ride, right? Hey, you're going the wrong way, something like that. Of course, there's different levels to it. But it stings, and it is honestly pretty much the same. I've heard this a while ago and I so much resonated with this. It's the same as calling a more feminine person ugly or not radiant in whatever way, might be physically, might be mentally, emotionally, whatever, right? Sexually. It's pretty much the same thing. And I want to explain a concept to you that is extremely important for you. This might take a second for you to realize this, but everything will click after I explain this to you. There are 3 stages of relationships. The first stage is pretty much where you need a partner to feel good about yourself and to feel whole in yourself. The second stage is where you don't need a partner. You feel whole by yourself. You might still want a partner, but you don't need a partner anymore to feel whole about yourself. You feel whole by yourself, right? And I mean, many people get this wrong. They say, I don't need a man, I don't need a woman, and they interpret that as like, I can just fuck around and be a boss bitch and that kind of stuff, which is immature, simple. Same for the MGTOW, men going their own way, that bullshit, right? At the end of the day, second stage is I don't need someone, I feel whole by myself. Now the thing is, if you feel whole by yourself or whole with a partner, that still means that you have boundaries. Because if you feel whole by yourself, for example, right in the second stage, well, that just means you fill those boundaries. In the third stage, you go beyond those boundaries. You melt those boundaries. You don't have any boundaries anymore. There's no thought about I need someone, I want someone, ever. It's just I am with someone. And you can do this by yourself as well. You can get to the third stage by yourself, by loving yourself as well. But you open and you penetrate in that sense deeper than anything in the first or second stage. Simply put, the third stage is where people realize that being whole isn't enough anymore. They want to go beyond that. And the thing is, to get to that, you need immense levels of trust, either in yourself, like I said, you can go to the third stage yourself, by yourself, or with your partner, right? You need immense trust with your partner to go there, because you make yourself very vulnerable at the end of the day. But you also reach the potential that you can reach. It's like climbing up a mountain or climbing up a tower. And yes, you could fall down the tower, but you could also get up the tower and look all over the place and have a great view, right? That just depends how you do it. That depends who you do it with, right? Depends on who you do it with. At the end of the day, something that you've probably noticed already is that the moment she focuses more on her work, more on her studies, whatever it might be, and less on you and less on your relationship and less on love, she doesn't feel as radiant anymore. She doesn't feel as attractive anymore. And she also doesn't feel as happy anymore. You don't see her as just radiant and happy and childish anymore, as free. She's more like a flower that kind of crumbles, you know what I mean? And then at the same time, you realize that in your relationship, you're kind of losing that fire, that passion for each other. And all of this might make you more anxious, might make you think, oh, like, where is this going? Like, man, I don't really know where this is going. The thing is, what you haven't realized so far, and what I haven't told you so far, is these 3 stages are mandatory. You cannot get to the 3rd stage without getting to the 2nd stage first. And some people, before even getting into a relationship, before even getting into their first relationship maybe even, they've already moved from stage 1 to stage 2. They've already healed so much that they can just go into a relationship and build that 2nd stage relationship immediately. Some people need to start in the 1st stage. But you need to go through the 2nd stage. You need to master the 2nd stage to get to the 3rd stage. And what you also need to realize is, if she does this and she's with you, she trusts you to figure it out. She is in this relationship with you because she trusts you that you will figure it out, that you will get both of you to that 3rd stage, and that you will overcome your fears. She trusts you to take responsibility, and she trusts you to move both of you beyond the 2nd stage and have more direction than her again, and build both the polarity between masculine and feminine, this strong force of attraction again that brings all the passion, brings all the fire into the relationship, while also having that love and having that kindness with each other. Now, what she also will do, especially in this 2nd stage, is she will challenge you on your immaturity. And your immaturity, I'll explain what I mean with that in a second, pretty much is this behavior of, for example, many of these red pill guys and the self-improvement bros, they all say, I don't want my girl to work, she shouldn't have to work. That is can come from a good place. It can come from a genuine place of like, hey, work is heavy, it's hard, and I don't want her to have to do this. Or it can come from a place of, I want to make all the money, I want to be the breadwinner, so she depends on me. And this is what happened to most of our parents and grandparents' generation. The man made the woman dependent on them. And not just that, the men who were in office made women dependent on them, right? Politicians, etc. made women dependent on men because the men weren't actually good enough to keep the woman just like that without making them dependent. And all those relationships were dependency relationships. At the end of the day, that doesn't really matter, but she will challenge you on your immaturity. What I mean by that is, she will challenge you on your fear of losing her, because all your immaturity stems from this fear of loss of love that you have. And this is a normal fear. This is something that most humans have. Most people, this is a very, very common fear, this fear of losing someone that you love, whether that's to death or to a breakup or to them cheating on you or whatever it might be. You lose them and you're afraid of that. Now, brother, before I go even more in depth in this video, if you like this video so far, you will love our Deep Lovers community, because it is a place where you can learn even more about building that deep, fulfilling, inspiring relationship that supports your goals. If you're interested, there's a link in the description. It takes 1 minute to sign up and it's completely for free. Check it out. Because at the end of the day, it is extremely immature to hold her back from working, or to hold her back from doing her studies, or to hold her back from becoming successful if you do it from a place of, but then she doesn't need me anymore. Because that's not what she needs you for. She needs you to go beyond, to go deeper. Most women can't, or it's very, very hard for them to open to that 3rd stage by themselves. And it's way easier if they have a capable man, a man with deep, penetrating presence, with love, with humor, who can bring down their guard lovingly and open them further than they could themselves. That's what she needs from you. And yes, money is all good. I'm trying to make a lot of money, 100%. And at the end of the day, do I want her to work? No, I don't. But from a place of love, not from a place of fear or of trying to lose her. And also, what many guys also do, which is also one of these immature things, is they try to make it a competition of who can have more direction, right? She says, let's do this, and even though you kind of want to do this, you say, no, let's do that, just because she said, let's do this, right? You challenge her direction then. Well, if you challenge someone else's direction, that means that they have more direction than you, because you need to challenge someone's direction. If you have clear direction in life, if you are in your mature masculine and you're grounded, then you don't have a problem with following someone else's direction, if it's the right thing to do, of course. It's not about doing the easy thing of just, oh no, we'll do this. It's about doing the right thing. No matter whether you're right or she's right. If she's right, it is better to do what she says, obviously. But many guys struggle to do that. And she will continue challenging you, continue testing you on this, until you become the man that she can fully trust to have the direction that will lead her to the life that she actually wants and to the relationship that she actually wants. What does this immature behavior of you show to her? Well, it shows that you're not comfortable in your own skin, that you're stuck personally in the first stage, that you need her. It's this neediness, right? Which you might think, oh, but if I say, like, if I give clear direction, no, if it's from a place of fear, then it's neediness. It's not love, then it's neediness. It's not clear direction. And the kind of hard part for men here is that women nowadays develop to that second stage way quicker than men do most of the time, at least in modern, like, Western society, because they're encouraged to do it. They're encouraged to be their own woman, right? And that's not a bad thing. Of course, if they can then get stuck there and they close themselves off to that further opening of the third stage, well, that's bad both for them and for their partners. But if the woman is encouraged to just, hey, evolve yourself, like, grow yourself, get to that second stage, like I said, that's mandatory. And I'm not some modern feminist or anything. I think you can notice that. For me, it's just anything that is all of these immature things, whether it's modern day feminism, the first stage of feminism, okay, but modern day feminism just, for me, goes too far, if I'm being honest. Everything that is like men are bad, or from the man side of like men going their own way, red pill, women are bad, that's just immature, and I don't see myself in that, to be honest. Now, the thing is this, again, she wants you to figure it out, she wants you to grow. So again, she wants you to become more comfortable in this second stage, so you can both go beyond and get to that third stage. So what do you need to do to become comfortable in that second stage? The first thing is realizing, again, this stage is mandatory. That's the first and honestly most important thing. Second thing is, follow your authentic desires. Don't lie to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. So many men stay stuck in this second stage because they lie to themselves and say, you know what, I'm decently happy here, like, this is okay, I don't mind this is good, blah 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 blah. When in actuality, deep down they want more. They want deeper. They want to have love and sex and a relationship without any boundaries. But most men never admit that to themselves because they're afraid of maybe failing. So admit to yourself, or be very honest with yourself, do you want more or not? And I'll talk more about that later on. The third thing you need to do is you need to realize that her challenges are opportunities that she gives to you so you can build a more trusting relationship, which is exactly what you need to move to that third stage. If you react to her tests, as the Red Pill calls it, or to the challenges like I call it, if you react to those with snapping back at her, getting defensive, getting offensive, whatever it might be, that just shows that you're not comfortable in your own skin and that you can't actually, that you don't know her well, that you don't understand what she's doing there. It just shows that you still think that she is emasculating you, as the Red Pill says, with these tests and all that stuff, when in actuality she gives you those tests so you can grow. So react to those tests with humor, with love, with full presence, and pervade through those tests. Open her again when she closes herself. And the fourth and final thing is, you need to really deeply get rid of this fear of loss of love. You need to fully get rid of this fear, because if you don't, then you can first of all never really commit to any relationship, because you're always gonna protect yourself in a way. A part of you will always try to protect yourself because that part is afraid of getting hurt, and that will always hold you back from actually building the relationship that you want. And also, that fear will lead you to either being, like I said, in a first stage relationship where you're in that relationship more out of fear of not feeling adequate, feeling inadequate when you're alone, needing a partner to feel whole about yourself, or you're in a second stage relationship where you're in that relationship because it's convenient. You don't need anyone, but it's nice to have someone, it's nice to have sex every once in a while, it's nice to have this, it's nice to have that, but in reality you know that you settle. If you don't overcome this fear of loss of love, you can never get to this third stage where you are with this person out of love and out of freedom. And one thing that I need to say here quickly is that around 10% of people, they are completely happy in a second stage relationship. Deep down, completely happy. They don't want more because they have a so-called balanced sexual essence, meaning their masculine and their feminine are pretty much 50-50 within themselves. And that's not something that's bad. That is something that is very normal, and around, like I said, around 10% of people have that. That's not bad. But so many people have a sexual essence that is covered by some layer of trauma or some layer of hurt, some layer of fear. And that is holding them back from actually living how they truly want to live. Many men get told while growing up, don't be so loud, don't be this, don't be so aggressive, don't fight with the boys in the school, right? Don't do this, don't do that. And their masculinity gets like, on their masculinity, there's many layers that get put on top of that. Hundreds, if not thousands of layers that get put on top of that with experiences that make them think that their masculine is not good, and that make them almost abandon their masculine and become more 50-50 because that's more acceptable in society, because most young men especially, they're not maturely masculine, so they use their masculinity for bad and not for good, right? And so thing is, you need to be really, really honest with yourself about what you truly deep down want. You need to get in touch with your dark desires, or you need to see whether there are any dark desires. And I can promise you there are. Even if you're more of a balanced person, there are dark desires. And at the end of the day, man, don't settle. Don't convince yourself that, he said like 10%, so like maybe I'm out of those 10 people, right? And I am that balanced person. Maybe you am. I'm not saying you're not. But if you've watched this video so far, and if you've connected with some stuff that I said in this video, and most likely you're not. And then most likely you want that third stage relationship. So do the work to actually get there. Now, if you already know that you want more, you don't want to settle for this second stage relationship, and you really are looking to turn your relationship into that inspiring, fulfilling third stage relationship, then the easiest and quickest way to achieve that is to join our Deep Lovers community. I've made this community completely for free because I really want every ambitious man to have this opportunity to learn this crucial life skill of becoming a deep lover, because society, the education system, and our parents, they all failed miserably at teaching this stuff. And I respect every single one of the guys in there who take responsibility still after this not being their fault, right? It's not their fault that they're in this position, but they still take responsibility and they still do the stuff to actually get where they want to go. So in this community, I teach at this point over 140 men on how they can build this extraordinary relationship, and they all also help each other and support each other. So if you're interested, you can click the link in the description. It takes 1 minute to sign up, and like I said, it's free. So I'm excited to see you in there, and I'm excited to talk to you.